Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're here to go over some open source materials and some free resources that we use here in our GED program for math instruction. Today, you're with Melinda Nickas and Lisa Nielson. Both of us are GED instructors, and Melinda works for our math department as well. Our goals today are to review a variety of resources. Some are full open source curricula, some are just materials and open source textbooks, and then several websites that have pretty good free resources to integrate into your other curriculum. Our session outcomes are we want everyone to experience open source options for math instruction, particularly for those of you who have not used them in the past. We hope that you'll be inspired to utilize open source math materials and also to contribute any other open source resources that you're using in your programs so that we can all share out.
Good morning, everyone. This is Melinda. Thank you, Lisa, for doing such a great introduction. My favorite math program is MyOpenMath. It is an open source online program that has all sorts of different types of classes, but it does have some beginning arithmetic, and some folks have even set up some GED classes in there. I want to show you how to use it. It's super user-friendly once you get it started. This is the start screen for MyOpenMath, and truly the website is www.myopenmath.com. It's pretty easy to remember. And the first thing you do as an instructor is you want to request an instructor account. You just click here and you put in some stuff. You have, am I an instructor? Where do I work? Then I guess I'll go through it. I work at a college or university. It is located in the U.S. We're located in Oregon. Where are we? There we are. And now let me go to step 2. Oh my goodness. So we're going to put in ours, which is 97045. Okay. Thank you. And are we there? There we are. And then you hit continue. And it wants to know how you want to get your website, or how to identify you, and they can send an email, you can upload your school ID, you can provide a website so they can see that you're actually an instructor. And once you've done that, it asks for your information and you submit it. Pretty easy. Generally, it takes a couple days to get it. Sometimes it's faster than others, so don't wait till the last minute. Okay. Once you have your instructor account, you can go ahead and log in. And there's all sorts of stuff. This is our home page, or your instructor home page, and it's going to have support course stuff. It's going to have different threads for people who are like coding. People do a lot of cool stuff on here. I do not know how to do that yet, but we're working on it. And then over here, it'll show you what courses you're teaching, and you can see here we've got some developmental stuff, some GED math and pre-algebra, and a math 20, which is our sort of foundational math, fractions, percents, proportions, etc. So if you are going to add a new course, you click this button that says add a new course, and hopefully it gets there. So you have your options. You can create one all on your own. You can look at a copy from a template or a promoted course, and you can also copy from a colleague or yourself. So if you've already had these classes, you could just copy them and drop them in. But let's just look at copying from a template so we can see all the things they have available. All right, and so you can see right off the top, we've got a Math 10, which is basic arithmetic. It's a template course. You've got all sorts of 10s. We've got some pre-algebra from College of the Redwoods and all sorts of places. These are all available for us to use. They're on here to be free and helpful resources for instructors. All right, we just adjusted this so I could show you these options up top. We've got level, so you can pick all of these things. You can pick arithmetic, pre-algebra, elementary algebra. They have chemistry, oopsie, I scrolled. geometry, technical math. There's a lot of different things that you can choose your level. So I'm going to throw arithmetic and pre-algebra. And then I'm going to look at the primary textbook. Every textbook on here is going to be an open source. That's one of the coolest parts. So I love OpenStax and I love Lippman's stuff. He's the one who wrote the program. The modality, classroom, hybrid, fully online, Emporium, which was the cafeteria model. They pick and choose. And then it'll talk about what do we want in it. Do we want formative assessments? Do we want summative assessments, video lessons, all of these different things. You can put all these things in it. I'm just going to go put all sorts of things in it. All right, and then it's going to show me what I've got. So I have not too many courses to choose from, but I've got some. I've got a arithmetic course out of Kenya. That's cool. And then we've got arithmetic for college readiness out of Scottsdale. So let's say I'm going to pick this one. So I'm going to copy this course. And we are going to go with all of these things just to show it. We're going to have our course copy options, availability, additional options. And if you have an LMS that's like a Canvas or Blackboard or Moodle, you can use these integration setup instructions and it'll like help plop the assignments into Moodle. It's very cool. All right, once you've got it all set up, you just go check out your course. So it says enter the course. We're going to go here. You're going to need to pay attention to this course ID for when students start to use it. And then here is your class. It's all right here. It's pretty cool. It's got instructor info that you can just see how the class rolls. It's going to show you all the things that are available. It's got PowerPoints. It's got training videos. It's pretty cool. Then you go back. So I really actually just play with this a lot and sort of find different things. But you can see all of the assignments are here. So place value in whole numbers, integers, order of operations, fractions, a little bit of everything. So this is a really good foundational assignments. So they'll have a lesson packet, videos, some answers that you can try, and some homework. The online homework is awesome because it's graded. Yay. So students can start the homework and it's got some videos. They do some homework. It's great. Anyways, it's a very, very handy program. You can also set up your own assessments. You probably don't want to sit through that. But it's a great resource if you haven't used it before. So check it out.
Thanks, Melinda. As Melinda mentioned, some of the curricula available through MyOpenMath relates to OpenStax and the math books that are available through OpenStax. I'm a big fan of OpenStax for their pre-algebra material and textbooks, as well as their college success. I use that, bits and pieces of that in all my classes. OpenStax is a project of Rice University, and all of the materials and textbooks are open source. Most of them are free unless you would like the textbooks printed. If you want them printed, you can order them through the website, and the textbooks are very inexpensive. So to look at the subjects, we're going to go click up top on subjects and down to math. And then take a look here at all that is available. So developmental math, we've used that a little bit for GED. Let's go to this pre-algebra. And from here, you have a variety of options. You can look specifically at the details of the book. You can use the textbook as an online textbook, or I have printed chapters for students or sections of chapters for students, as well as downloading them into PDF so students can look at just the different specific sections of different chapters. And you can do that by downloading the PDF and saving the pages. Instructor resources, this is something that is really, I'm showing it to you rather than giving you instruction in it, since I really haven't used this well, in part because we use Moodle, and the course cartridges work better for Blackboard and Canvas. But if you do use Blackboard or Canvas, you have the ability to dump the class into your LMS. Scrolling down, what I use, I build a lot around the PowerPoint slides and have made some of my own videos. Also, if you dig in here, you'll find that you can see some of the videos that are linked that other people have put together. I want us to take a look at the table of contents for the pre-algebra textbook, and just let's look at, let's just do dividing whole numbers. One of the things that I like about this textbook is they use a lot of visual representations, and I think for our student population, that's very helpful. I also like these be prepared questions. So if a student can't do some of the basic skills here, it refers them back in the textbook for them to review. So just scrolling through here, I just want to give you guys a glimpse, if you've not used this before, of what the textbook itself looks like. And, it's interactive, and it shows students, if they try these practice problems, how to do them if they don't get them right. Tries to give them, again, quite a few opportunities as they're going through here to practice the skills. And, there are also, if you don't want to use the textbook in an interactive way, like I said, I have some of this, printed as packets from their PDF. In that case, it's set up as a fairly traditional textbook with the activities at the end of the chapter. So I like the online piece because it goes through and gives them samples all the way through. But you also do have this opportunity or this option of printing it and having it be laid out a little bit more like a traditional textbook.
Hi, it's Melinda again. So Light and Salt Learning is what GED Math Crash Course has gone into. She left her job and she's actually now making money, so yay her. But they have some great GED test prep. She really dials it into what the important stuff is that you need. The crash course, whoopsie, it just has all sorts of options. You can just watch things. She's got all of these different topics just handled. And I love interpreting word problems. I think that's one of the greatest ones you can use. And they're here. You don't have to use it for everything, but they are very helpful. So I highly recommend this resource, especially for students who just need a little push on a couple of things.
Hi, all, Lisa again. I want to give us a moment to take a look at Open Oregon educational resources. If you're new to this site, this is such an amazing resource, and I love that it is, within our state, it is our colleagues supporting one another. So please, if you haven't, follow along, and I'm going to take us on a little bit of a tour through Open Oregon. My favorite place to look is just straight into the resources, where you can see what open source curriculum, open source textbooks are available. So I'm going to scroll us down, and since we're here to talk about math, I'm going to do a little search for math. And so you can see that we have 2 ABS courses that are set up from Lane Community College. And Julie, if you're here, thank you for these and for letting me show them off a bit. And then if you keep scrolling down, we have some materials that are for GED prep. So Elise, if you're here, thank you very much. And then you can scroll through here and see some developmental math classes. Math and Society is the 105. But below here, you have a Math 10, Math 20, and Math 50. And a little bit lower, Math 60. And I've pulled bits and pieces from all of these to utilize in my GED class. There are also some open source college success and, sort of motivational chapters that are well worth digging into from here. I'm always looking for good visual representations of mathematical concepts, and I really like these simulations and how they demonstrate different concepts. I actually found this resource. It's out of Colorado, and I found it in one of their simulations that demonstrates balancing chemical equations, which I'm still very fond of, but it sort of led me down the road into looking at all that they offer. I generally like the games as a way for students to have some experience with these different concepts. They can choose their level, and I usually choose level 2. So then students just get to play around with matching, in this case, what, if we have 1/3 here, and then we look for another representation of 1/3 here, and then it gives you immediate feedback as to whether you're correct or not. Here's another algebra modeling. It's not really a game, but certainly simulation, where students, or we do these often together as a class, all just put some of these shapes and stuff on one side, and then I always call out the notation up top. So 1 red ball plus 2 blue squares plus 1 green triangle is greater than 0. All right, well then we have to add more over on the other side, and we still have an inequality. And then we'll start adding some more here until we have, let's see, there we go, until we actually have equality, we have an equation. And I think this really helps students visually see what's happening, as well as understand, what a variable means, and also to recognize some of the notation. So while this isn't a curriculum, it's certainly an open source free resource that has been really effective in the GED classroom. I wanted us to dig in a little bit to the NROC resource. There's frankly a lot in here to explore, more than what really we've utilized. Hippocampus has some curriculum that's linked to the videos. It's a much more fleshed out curriculum than their open developmental textbook. But I wanted to throw this up here really for all of us to explore a little bit. And also because the developmental math textbook is available in English and Spanish. And so for our, we offer Math 20 in Spanish, and we offer Spanish GED classes. And so we've been utilizing this resource for both of those classes. This resource has really just been on my list. In full disclosure, I haven't used it in a class, but I am familiar with the illustrative mathematics through K-12, and just that idea of being able to really help students have a more comprehensive understanding of what math looks like and what math is about. So I'm not going to take us on a tour of this because I really can't say that I've used it much other than, had it on my list to dig through. And see it as a really good resource that's recognizing the college and career readiness standards and has some alignment there. At this point, we're really coming down to free resources more than open source curriculum. This particular one, that quiz, has been around for a long time. So I'm guessing many of you are familiar with it. And where I've utilized it the most is just for calculator practice when students are learning the different skills on the calculator. You have a lot of control over how you structure a quiz for students. I'm just going to set up an arithmetic quiz. So, and you can go in and have a teacher account and have this be, something that you structure for students in in a little bit more of a comprehensive way than what I'm doing right now. But I just want to show you quickly how easy it is to set up a quiz. So I'm going to go into arithmetic. I want the quiz to be 20 questions. There are lots of levels. I'm just going to go, it's set at 10. We're just going to stick there for right now. And I don't use the timer because most of what I'm having students do is practice the calculator. I want them to do all 4 operations. And typically, if I'm using it for calculator practice, I don't do an inverted option, although when we're practicing algebra, I use this quite a bit. Negatives, yes. Parentheses, sure. And then down at the bottom, if I'm using it for my online class, I have it generate a URL that I can just plug in and have students work from there. So without setting up a teacher account, you can't really see how students are scoring. But with a teacher account, you can double check and look at what they're doing and how things are going for them. Finally, we have what I call our drill and kill free resources. These are really just worksheet generators. They don't come with, story problems. They are really just practicing discrete skills. And they've been around for a long time, but sometimes when students just need that extra practice, these provide fairly good options. Math Aids actually has a packet that for Pythagorean theorem that shows really where the theorem comes from, that these squared measurements come together when you have a right triangle. And I use it. I still use it. I've used it for years. I still like that. I will say Math Aids is a little bit hard to navigate because it's just bombarded with ads. The other 2, Math Drills and the CUDA software, are not as challenging to get to the worksheets, but I do like some of the Math Aids materials better. So this concludes our video, and our hope now is that we can answer any questions for you and that we can all share some of our favorite resources and also, maybe some of the challenges that we found with using open source materials. Thank you all for your time.